This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by SACL CAI.
This is not acceptable.
Albert, I explained the time.
There is no explanation for this.
And today, I told you the issues.
We should not be shutting down because you cannot organize and get the ballots here on time. I'm not fine with this.
Hey, Ridley here reporting in from Concord, New Hampshire at the scene of the Ron Paul recount.
I think we need to do, because there's
Folks here say they're extremely frustrated.
ballots.
Ron Paul supporters, that is.
To have a legal leg to stand on, so that we can address certain issues like the fact that we can't count the unused ballots.
The conflict centers around these innocuous-looking pieces of paper.
I just went through them. No, you didn't. You just took some clumps and you threw them over on the side. Randomly checked. You know what?
Uncast
That's not
ballots.
accounted for.
Ron Paul activists want to be able to count all the uncast ballots. They also want hard and fast numbers regarding the number of ballots that were originally printed. There's also a conflict underway with regard to the continuing free flow of ballots toward the ballot counting area. Paul activists say they were promised a free flow of ballots from the towns to the ballot counting area. They wanted a more continuous flow, and they say they're not getting it. So all the ballots that are here have apparently already been counted, leaving recount activists cooling their heels, waiting for more to count. The man on the left here, Walter Reddy, I guess had something of a confrontation with Assistant Secretary of State David Scanlon earlier today. Albert Howard, the man who commissioned the recount, or ordered it, asked to be done, and is now grilling the New Hampshire Secretary of State, William Gardner, on the right.
It's not acceptable for these people to be sitting here waiting for a truck to come. You're running this state as a Secretary of State. You should have the minimum. You should have organizational, logistic skills enough to get these ballots here where they need to be. This is not acceptable.
Albert, I explained the time.
There is no explanation for this.
And today, I told you the issues.
We should not be shutting down because you cannot organize and get the ballots here on time. I'm not fine with this.
You're putting on a big show.
No, it's going to be a show. It's going on the internet because this is not acceptable. These people are being paid. All right, $55,000. You mean to tell me this is an explanation in a show? There's money on the line. What are you talking about? There's no, and this is not a show. This is money. These people are sitting here waiting to count these ballots, and we're waiting. You're telling me you want to shut down at 2:30?
We've had 2 snowstorms.
There's no snowstorm out. These people were here today.
This morning, and the roads were very
There's nothing
bad.
wrong.
There's nothing wrong right now. That's not a
vans out
legitimate
there now.
excuse.
I just drove everything.
These people came from all over, and that's all I'm saying. This is not acceptable.
Well, it takes some time to bring the ballots in. When they got to go 100 miles to get them.
What's that?
What question? What question?
These people are being paid. I've got observers here. They've come as far as Massachusetts. Further,
Mr. Gardner, we had an agreement. You shook on the agreement.
we shook on the agreement. These
That
ballots
you
would be
have them
here, and it would be a
continuously
continual
coming
flow. And you agreed. We said we had a
We
handshake on
agreed.
this.
Albert was there.
You asked if
We could bring them in as they come in, and we would count them. And you agreed on that. Now, David.
What is your response to Mr. Howard's complaint that these folks are sort of sitting still and not getting any ballots to count?
well, it's 5 of 3, and we had been asked back at the beginning of this recount almost 2 weeks ago now if we would not have ballots brought here and stay over and kept here. We would like to have ballots be brought and be counted as soon as possible after they get here, rather than pick up all the ballots. We could have just gone around the state, picked up all the ballots, brought them here, and let them sit here until we got to doing them. But what we were asked was if we would only bring in certain ballots a day and count those as soon as possible after they arrive here.
And who asked you to do that?
Walter Reddy.
Okay, one of the folks who's complaining now asked you to do it this way. You're saying?
Well, then that's the way we've been trying to do it. But today, there's, we started this morning at 9, and it's about 3 o'clock, and we don't have ballots, so we'll wait until tomorrow.
Okay. I can't think of anything else to ask you. I mean, is it disturbing having this kind of discord inside the room and the recount process?
Oh, it's happened. It happened 28 years ago, actually.
Which campaign was that?
Lyndon LaRouche.
Oh my gosh! All right. Thanks so much, Mr. Gardner. What about the question of these folks are wanting to know how many ballots were actually originally printed, and you're saying is that not something you can give them, or?
No, we can give them that.
But you're not going to
ask. We're providing.
Are you able to? I heard there was some delay in you being able to provide that. Is that correct, or?
Not that I know of.
So you'll already be able to provide the original numbers and the receipts and information about all the original ballots that were printed?
What we've been asked to do, we're preparing.
What exactly have you been asked to do in that regard?
How many? Well, a number of things. We've been asked a number of things.
But have you been asked to provide proof of the actual original number of ballots printed?
I'm not sure if we've been asked about that.
Okay. All right. Okay, thanks.
Now, another state official just told me they are trying to get the information on the original number of ballots printed, and essentially he said they will provide it if they have it. He seemed to indicate it would be a 15-day delay, roughly.
This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by SACL CAI, the company that does collections a better way. They know that not only do you want your money back, you also want to keep your customers. SACL CAI. They collect with respect.